for 14 minutes. Can't be true. Let me refresh that. Aaron Radcliffe. Hi. Robin Everly in the house. What is up, my man? Man, I was looking forward to seeing all you guys today. It's just nice to even virtually see familiar faces, isn't it? It's just wonderful. I feel like, you know, the internet, the cause of and solution to all our problems. I sometimes think about those poor people in the Spanish flu, all quarantined up. That was like 3 years. We'll probably get into 3 years. I wouldn't be surprised we're wearing masks 3 years later. Wouldn't be surprised. I like the masks. I think we have effectively eradicated the flu. Thanks to masks, maybe. I don't know. I hear there's no more flu anymore. That's good. This is called Vishnu by Patrick P., an unknown artist. It's kind of nice, I guess. It's got a steel drummy feel. How are you people? How are you doing? Are you good? Are you having a nice day? What are you doing? What's new? Had a long birthday party. Oh, very nice. How old are you, Robin? How old are you, my friend? I'm glad you had a birthday party. Brenda! Oh, Aaron, you had the flu? What? Oh, man. Tells you what I know. I thought I saw, let's see. How many cases of the flu in Summit County, Ohio? Here, look, wait. March. Okay, here, look, let's see. Summit County records its first flu death in 2019-2020. Summit County's seen its first flu death of the season. So this was in March of 20. Oh, this is, God, that's like last year, in case anybody's watching. Anyways, never mind. What do I know? You don't come here for the stats, I hope. Steven. All right, Steven Castor is in the house. He is going to go for a run. That's nice. That's good. That's good. Well, I'm glad you're here. Glad you're running, staying healthy. Yeah, like I said, Erin says she had the flu. All right. Well, I'm sorry you had the flu. That's terrible. I feel like we're on the other side of things, maybe. I don't know. Says here, Stark County pastor featured in 60 Minutes QAnon segment. Uniontown UMC fighting QAnon conspiracies among his members. How did things go on Friday? Thank you for asking. This is better than QAnon. I was going to go down a QAnon path. Wonderfully. So if you didn't know, one of our friends, Chubbs, he goes by Chubbs. His official name is Chester, but I'm really into calling people the name they choose to be called. And some people called him Chubby, which I thought was funny. He's not chubby at all. He's very thin. But they called him Chubby. I called him Chubbs. I don't know where he got this nickname. But he was found hung in an abandoned property right around the corner from 15 Broad Street. Rich Royal Rich Royal, it's good to see you, buddy. Had terrible pain. Oh, I'm so sorry, Aaron. That is quite all right. That's quite all right. Uh, wait a second. Robin, you got a staff job at the Chicago Avenue Homeless Mission? You'd be perfect for that. You'd be perfect for that. Thomas Redman, what is up, my friend? That is wonderful news, Robin. Wonderful news. So we had a little gathering for Chubs at the Lest We Forget Park, which is funny because every time we meet there, we always forget what we're not supposed to forget. I really don't know. Linda, good morning to you. Oh, I love this so much. It's so, so wonderful to see you all here. And just amazing people came out for his memorial. This lady and her family showed up, and I had never met her before, and it turned out that she had known Chubbs for a long time and allowed him to shelter in her garage. And the reason she didn't let him in the house, yeah, Robin, that is amazing. That is, I'm so happy for you with your job. That's really, really wonderful. And the reason she didn't let him in the house was because his drug of choice was the drug she was overcoming. And so she knew she couldn't have somebody actively using in her house the drug that she is, attached to. But man, opening up your garage to someone who needs shelter is so amazing. It is so, it's a risk. It is an added difficulty in your life. Thomas wants to know, Robin, do you know John Schaefer? Let's find out. And so the fact that a person will do that, and I've known multiple people Robin says, yes, I do know John Schaefer. Wow. Marshall, good to see you. Aw, that's so nice to see you. It's so good to see you, Marcia. And so it was wonderful seeing her. We met a lady who had helped raise Chubbs. Chubbs grew up in a very abusive home. With his dad was very abusive. He has made Chubbs made videos about the abuse that his dad inflicted upon him. And so it was just so wonderful to be around his friends. And isn't that how so many of these memorials are? That my feeling is I'm like, oh man, this is heavy. I don't really want to go. I don't really want to experience this, feel these emotions that are painful. But it's never that way. It's just always this warmth and community and coming together. And there is something so salve-like, so just comforting, right? Of being around people that have a connection in sometimes a death, and it was lovely. It was lovely. And then on Saturday afternoon, there was a memorial service for our friend Ginger, who passed away. She, I think she was ill. She had, I think, congestive heart failure, and that was beautiful. That was over at the Middlebury Chapel, and that was so wonderful, and people had such wonderful things to say. Ginger helped the homeless community so much, and so that was truly great. And then we had another death in our community. This African American lady who lived next door to our tent city, Rosie, she passed away this past week. Um, and and then on top of that, in our local community, I don't know if you know this or not, but a young girl had a tragic sledding accident and she lost her life. And if that wasn't enough, when her father found out, he had a massive heart attack and died. And the same week that this young girl, the 16-year-old, or no, she's less than that. Yeah, they were wonderful people, Linda, so wonderful. And this young girl was at the same sledding hill this week and is now paralyzed from the legs down. So there's this massive seismic shift, in at least in our local community, of really significant loss. And yeah, so Ginger was a cool lady. Feel bad I didn't know or would have been there. That's quite all right. These things are sometimes hard to promote. You know, there's so much information going on and that sort of thing. But isn't death a strange thing? Because it's, especially in these tragic situations where Chubbs was hung, most likely a suicide. Some people suspect that there was ill will or something insidious there, but I don't think our drug dealers are typically that savvy. When they kill you with like a shovel, throw you over a cliff, stuff like that. So I do think it's likely that he did commit suicide. I want to see, and I want to put that thing up so I don't forget what Thomas is saying there. The community that comes around when people are suffering is, you don't even know what to call it. It's like such a gift. It's such a blessing that people come around when there is suffering, whether it's a death, whether it's homelessness, a hunger, coats for kids, toys for tots. The suffering pulls people together. And the reason this is interesting was because I was helping my son with electrons and atoms this week, like in chemistry. Okay, so he had a chemistry test. And so here's the thing. The word, H2O? It's two hydrogens and an oxygen that makes water. And do you know why it's not H3O or H1O? Like that would just be HO. It's because oxygen requires a certain number of electrons to collect together. And so the only way you can make water, is for things to connect together, is you need two hydrogens per oxygen. Okay? And you can connect in different ways. I mean, but H2O is this connection. And what I'm getting at here is you see these equal and opposite reactions. You have a negative electron and you have a positive electric thing that comes together. And so what I'm getting at is I see it in suffering all the time. When there is suffering, there is kindness that just comes to it. There's love and hope and gratitude and warmth and kindness. It's almost inevitable. It's almost impossible to stop. When there is tragedy, there is beauty. Not in the tragedy, but of the counterpoint that comes to it. And then you find this beautiful harmony of kindness and love. I see it all the time in the homeless community. The tragedy of homelessness brings out the most beautiful people doing the most beautiful things. And it's one of the most wonderful things I get to experience working in the homeless community, is that it is inevitable if I put out a story about some sort of tragedy, I don't even have to hope that the goodness will come. The goodness comes. It's almost impossible to stop the goodness. Do you know what I'm saying? I don't understand it. I don't understand how much beauty and kindness and compassion and warmth, we don't even deserve it. Sometimes, but we get it. And I feel like, I don't like to talk about too many specific kinds of religions, but I do believe in a spiritual thing. And it's, they talk about man being created in the image of God, right? And that's what I see. When I see that greatness and that kindness and that compassion, I'm like, there's God. The worst tragedies bring out the greatest people. The bigger the tragedy, the more people show up. People come from everywhere. It's amazing, amazing. Thomas said, I assisted South Bend a couple years ago, and they announced this week that they are moving forward to start fixing things. The city awareness campaign, hiring a homeless czar. Wow. Wow. I know I fight on this social media world in Facebook. You know that I do. Obviously, you hear me yelling and ranting and raving, but I am only doing it because I know we can be better. All of us. We must wake up to the fact that homelessness is eradication. When a train company is allowed to go and scoop up all the belongings of homeless people, which is what they did on their land, the people had been living there for 2 years. And they just come in with bulldozers and steal all homeless people's things, and nothing is done to the train station. You know that America condones homeless eradication. I guarantee you, if you walked into a homeless camp and just stole all their stuff, just threw it all away, nothing would happen to you. Nothing. That is how you know you are witnessing the most evil humanitarian crimes against humanity. And you might say, well, Sage, We're not like that. Oh, yes, we are. Oh, yes, we are. We did it the moment we stepped foot on this land. We have so much blood and anguish and suffering and oppression on the Native Americans on this land. And you know, we're finally coming around to it. You know what I'm saying now doesn't bring up the animosity and the reflex of like, oh, Sage, they're happy. You know we're guilty. And we did it with Africans and African Americans in slavery. We put Japanese Americans in internment camps in World War II. Joe Biden is taking kids and putting them in children's jails in secluded places off of our border. Joe Biden is letting that Saudi Arabian prince go for murdering that journalist. It is in our DNA as a country to be savage. We must come to terms with that. Because the reason we must come to terms with that is because I know the good is everywhere. I see it constantly. My life is surrounded by suffering. When you work with homeless people, you are surrounded by suffering. And because I'm surrounded by suffering, I am surrounded by love and hope and compassion and kindness and giving. I get to see giving and compassion and hope, the likes of which most people can't even imagine. Because I'm surrounded by suffering. And I'm not trying to make it special that I'm special. A lot of people surround themselves by this suffering. All kinds of suffering. And the reason they do is because they bring the hope and the love and the kindness to the battlefield of suffering. They are warriors of love, fighting suffering. And I'm here to tell you, I'm sorry to say this, but the infrastructure of America is built on suffering. America is built to annihilate people it doesn't like. And right now, the general gist of people it doesn't like are poor people. We, ladies and gentlemen, are in the heart of a class war in America. I am sorry to say it, but you know it's true. We villainize addicts. We villainize African American men. We villainize homeless people. Anybody, and the common thing is they don't have money. You know that a doctor or a lawyer who does cocaine gets less punishment than a poor African American that does crack. Coke is cool. Crack is ghetto. We must wake up, and that's why I'm yelling about this. We must wake up. The people that are filled with love and hope, we must stand up to the oppressors. And I am sorry, but the oppressors live in our churches. The oppressors live in our city councils. The oppressors live in our schools. They live among us, and they are the people that are in control. I'm sorry. Didn't mean to even go there. Thomas saying community is everything. It is. Aaron says we should be offering our gifts, love, and community all the time, not just because of death or trauma. Yes. Yes. But you know what, Aaron? We do. I'm telling you, I fall over love and hope and kindness. Sometimes I just can't even get out of it. Like I'm swimming through it. It's so incredible. I'm like, I need to get air from all the love and hope and kindness. I can't even take it. You guys are so great. Thank you, Linda. Love going to Sage Church. Thank you, Thomas. I love you, buddy. Hope you know. Brenda, you're special. I am here to tell you, you are my food. You are the people that empower me. I do believe God directs me. I believe that. But you energize me. Because of the things I see you do. I look at you and I say, I am not worthy of you. Do you know I know an 86-year-old man with no electric and no water. World War II veteran. He needs help paying his property taxes because property taxes went way up. And our mayor is, and I'm sorry, I don't want to get political on Sundays, but our city government is very proud of the fact that property values are going way up in Akron. But do you know what that means? More evictions and more homelessness. Which means the savagery and the cruelty lives at the heart of Akron politics. And I'm not just pointing out Akron. I just happen to live in Akron. It's everywhere. They don't want the poor people. They don't want the addicts. They want them out. They want every house to be worth a minimum of $80,000. When we're living in a city with $15,000 houses. I bought a $5,000 house for our charity, and I bought a $20,000 house for our charity. I probably overpaid on the $20,000 house. We need more of those. But they don't want those. They're not worth having in the eyes of the city. They need to be torn down. Why? Because they are exterminating poor people. They are trying desperately to gentrify it, like they did in Pittsburgh. And all they did, they didn't annihilate the poor people. They just moved outside of the city. They made it harder on the poor people. You know that we must stand up for all of our brothers and sisters of America. The government is all about money and does not care about poor people. I know I say it a lot, but you must believe it. That is why we had the French Revolution. Let's learn about the French Revolution really quick. Why did the French Revolution start? The upheaval was caused by widespread discontent with the French monarchy and the poor economic policies of King Louis the 16th, who met his death by guillotine and did his wife Marie Antoinette. 5 causes. International struggle for hegemony. I can't do that. That's not even a word. That's not a word I can say. Hegemony? Hegemony. I can't say it. I didn't go to enough college to be able to pronounce that word. Political conflict between the monarchy and nobility over the reform tax, enlightenment, social antagonism between two rising groups, and economic hardship. I am here to tell you the government does not want poor people. None of them do. None of them. Even Bernie Sanders just talks about the working class. How about the disabled class? How about the mentally ill class? How about the addicted class? Even Bernie Sanders, they might throw a bone every once in a while. They want the people that make money because of capitalism, because we need money. And if you can't churn money, then you need to go away. I'm telling you, it's the truth. Thomas says homelessness is not hard to fix. We know how. It's all about getting the community behind you and the political will to fix it. Yes. Yes. That's it. We must normalize the fact that living in a tent is very human and very acceptable. Your great-grandparents likely did not have indoor plumbing or electricity. Amish do not have electricity, and it is fine. It's absolutely fine. I don't think Amish have indoor plumbing either, do they? Let me see. Do the Amish have indoor plumbing?
Here's a summary from Bridge, Michigan. Residents rush to defend Amish. They do not use indoor plumbing, electricity, or hydraulic power. They travel by horse and buggy.
There you go. The Amish. No electricity and no indoor plumbing. And nobody's calling them living beneath human dignity like our mayor does. They choose to live that way. And fine. Who cares how they live? The Amish are a little bit of a sticky wicket, though. They're tax thing. But anyway, but religiously, if you want to live without electric and without indoor plumbing, God bless you. You should be able to. Because you know what? Electricity and indoor plumbing bring complication to your life. You know it does. You know it does. Thomas points out, we are equal opportunity racists and classists. We will destroy anyone to make our class of people more comfortable. That is beautifully said. White men will do anything to make everyone else less than them. And white men control most things here still. And not just all white men, wealthier white men. Certainly not Appalachian white men. They're the worst. I think Appalachian white men are some of the people that, especially liberals. Liberals hate Appalachian white men. Hate them. Call them racist and conspiracy theorists and meth addicts, meth heads. Disgusting. Disgusting. I love you, Robin. I swear to God I do. I will do anything I can to continue this fight. Except I won't kill people. I've decided. I won't. My greatest idol is John Brown, the greatest, most important Akronite to ever live. And, that guy was a fucking maniac. He killed family members. He tried to do that stupid thing down at Harper's Ferry. I'm not going to do that. I refuse to kill people, but everything else, this is worthy of extremism, however, because we are exterminating human beings, American human beings, because we don't like them. Please understand that this is Hitler-level crap. Because we're not putting them in a gas chamber doesn't mean we're not scooping up all their crap and just letting them spin in the wind in the middle of an epidemic, a pandemic, and the middle of winter, just like CSX did. And not only does the city not going to do anything against CSX, they helped CSX throw those homeless people out in the middle of a winter, middle of a pandemic. Okay? You must wake up to the fact that the government is trying to kill you. Homeless people know it. I'm not saying anything hurtful to a homeless person. They're like, yeah, I know that. I'm telling it to all you that are not homeless, that are not black, that are not addicts. The government is trying to kill them. I love you, Robin. I'll fight for you till my last breath, my brother. You're a good man, especially when you're fighting for justice, yeah. Tragedy, Aaron says, tragedy of others is everyone else's excuse to show up and pretend to support others when they should be doing that every day, not just because of that tragedy. I do believe This is the essence of who we are. The lesson I have learned from any major spiritual readings I've ever done is to love one another. And I'm not just telling you Facebook, send hopes and prayers kind of love one another. I'm talking about getting out there and loving one another. Helping them. Helping lift them up. But now, let me preface that or post that or whatever. You always have to take care of yourself first. Always have to take care of yourself first. You put your own mask on first, like on the airplane, and then you put the mask on in your kid. You can only help people if you are able to help, okay? This is not some sort of guilt trip. I never am guilting people into helping because they help so much. I will guilt the church and the government into helping because they are outsourcing their own responsibilities. The church outsourced its help to the Democrats. That's what happened with Medicare, Medicaid, and Social Security. The church was like, thank goodness, we're done with that. So yeah, I'm going to rail on the church. Because look, we have an emergency overnight shelter in Akron. It flooded and closed this last week. And that's it. Now we don't have one. We had one, this one got destroyed, and now we don't have one. Not acceptable. Where are the churches? When do they stand up and say, we will take the people? Not one church. Not one. Have you ever been in a church? It's filled with pews, which are long beds. That's all they are, is long beds. Not one church stands up at the tragedy that individual people put together, nonprofits, and I don't think a single dollar I don't know if any government money went to that. Maybe a little bit. Maybe the Continuum of Care threw some money. But it was all run by volunteers. Somebody paid for the security. There's a huge water main break. The emergency shelter's under 2 feet of water. They lose everything. And then nothing. Nothing. Meanwhile, down in Houston, we got Mattress Max with 2 100,000 square foot mattress warehouse showrooms. Every time there's the slightest thing that goes on in Houston, Mattress Max opens his doors. Why does Mattress Max have to do it? Where are the churches? That was I added. I'm sorry, but this is who I am. I am calling out the hypocrisy in America because we must call it out. Otherwise, the cruelty wins. Sorry. If we can't be there for others while they are alive, why show up for their left behind? It's a sad circle. So I will say this, that, right, it is unfortunate that everybody comes out when somebody's dead. However, they're not coming out for the person who's dead. They're coming out for the people around the person who has died. See? When you feel that urge, when somebody dies and you feel that urge to do something, to help, that is the most natural thing in the world to do, and you must do it. You must do it. When you feel an urge to help, that is God talking to you, saying, let go of the fear and get out there. You feel it. You're like, wow, isn't that nice? Look at what that person did. Look what Mattress Max did. Mac. His name is not Max. I keep calling him Max. But look what Mattress Mac did. He opened up two. He has a showroom full of mattresses, and he lets people sleep on them. And you know what? He gets national coverage every time he does it because he's the only guy in America doing it. He's like, we're like, wow, you're blowing my mind, Mattress Mac. I wish I could do something like that. Well, I mean, there's liability, you know. I mean, we'd have to call our insurance company. I mean, we can't really do that. Well, how does Mattress Mac do it? Somebody asked me, Sage, did you have insurance when you had your, no, maybe even it was crueler than that. Like, well, you know, you have to have liability insurance. And I'm like, I've always had liability insurance on my building. And I'm like, she's like, well, how did it work when you had your tent city? I said, I called up my insurance provider and said, hey, I got 50 tents in my backyard. Can you cover that? And they said, yes. Done. Do you know how long it took? About that long. It took longer to wait on hold to get to talk to the person. Insurance companies will gladly insure anything. You need help because you're afraid you're going to be abducted by aliens? They got you. You want to run a 50-person tent village in your backyard? They got you. They got you. Liability is just a bullshit excuse to not do anything. Look at there. Aaron Radcliffe's father didn't have indoor plumbing until 1985. It's fine to not have indoor plumbing. You know what happens when you don't have indoor plumbing? You don't have plumbing issues. You know what I have to do? Like every 3 months, I gotta pull the little thing off of the drain on my shower and pull out the most disgusting, vomit-inducing ball of hair you've ever seen. I gotta do that all the time. If I didn't have a shower, I wouldn't have to do that job. My toilet's all wanky. It's like wobbly. Afraid it's going to fall over. It's one more thing. Some people don't want to deal with it. They've been pooping in an outhouse for their entire life. They're just going to poop in an outhouse. I get it. Whoa, Zach Zank. What's up, my brother? Might need you in the AM. Going to CSS tomorrow. Okay, let me know. Mondays are kind of busy to me. Oh, good. Robin sent more movies of Tent City. Good. He's been collecting those. It's the example. Now calm down just a little. We don't want to see you strike out on camera. Yeah, good point. Heaven forbid a God church. I'm sorry, but we have to talk. We have to call out churches. I know it's hard to be a church right now. I get it. The only churches that are growing right now are evangelicals, and they're doing a wonderful job for the most part. They're not sheltering people either. You know what would be, what's ironic? If a church would actually start really hardcore caring for people, they would get more people in their congregation. It's unbelievable, but they won't because they're afraid they're going to lose their congregation. Hence, they're losing their congregation because now they're just riddled with fear. I understand that about others left needing support, but if you never knew them, it's just pretending to care so others see you there. That's an interesting one, isn't it? Because you are right about that. Are those showing up doing anything else for those left behind? Probably not. They show up for themselves, not for the deceased left behind. People do it so they don't feel guilty about not doing something to help when someone else is alive. I would say that's right. I would say I've seen those people that they do make it about themselves. They do. And it's mostly about that. I will say this, though. I'll take whatever I can get. I don't care about your motive. I don't care if you just are doing it. If you're going to hand out food on Thanksgiving so you can take an Instagram selfie, fine. Come on down. You know what makes a better Instagram selfie? Going into the tent villages and cleaning up the trash. That's a great selfie. What else makes a great selfie? Building a tent for a homeless person that needs a tent. Bringing food to people in camps that need food. Taking your new homeless friends to the doctor when their hand has like third-degree burns on it. Makes a great selfie. If you need to be motivated by selfies, God bless you too. I don't give a crap. I'm of the belief that even when these, the people that come out at death and tragedies are kind of like, well, they're like Christmas, Easter Christians, right? They're the people that come out on Christmas Day and Easter, and then you never see them again on the rest of the year at church. These shower-uppers at the death of someone are like that. But you know what? Show up. Just show up. Just show up. I don't care. I don't care why you show up. Just show up. Because when people show up, it just adds love. And may I say, it might change you a little to show up. That's my personal belief. Show up, show up, show up, show up, show up, show up. And one of those tents housed my son before he passed. Oh, wow, Brenda. The greatest honor and privilege of my life was to shelter people on my land. And I have to say, I feel cowardly right now not having a tent village. But you need to know I am strategically organizing things. You will see another tent village from Sage Lewis in Akron, Ohio. And this time I'll be ready politically. I just can't do it right now. But I will tell you, I am still sheltering some people in tents. I do have my eye on these really cool... Oh, let me see if I can show you. I want to show you. Okay, Sam's Club. Sam's Club. Okay, I want to show you this. I'm really excited about this. Okay, Sam's Club. Let's see, shed. Let's see if it'll come up. Okay. Is it this one? No. Maybe. They got at my Sam's Club. I think it's this. I'm telling you it's this one, okay? It's this shed, okay? But it's not $1,200, it's $900. They're selling it for $900 at my Sam's Club, and I'm thinking about buying one or two. So, because I had somebody donate a big donation, and I'm waiting for the money to come through, and then I think I'm going to buy some of these. So I'm excited about those. Now, they obviously don't have any insulation, but have you seen these? What's going on in LA? LA opened its first tiny house village this last week or two. Let's see. Pallet Tiny House. No. It's these. Sorry. So it's these. So they just set up, here, let me show you. Let's see. They say temporary shelter. It's not temporary. I mean, it'll be temporary for some people, but I tell you, people are so happy to have it.
This property is our Los Gilicos campus. We, in 10 days, have stood up approximately 60 houses.
10 days
for individuals to come.
They're very comfortable. They're made of a material that's mold, mildew, and rot resistant and bed bug resistant, which is important.
Oh, I didn't know it was worn by a woman. That's awesome.
They also, they come with mattresses. They have the beds included.
So they're they're just under $5,000, but I think maybe they come with the heater and they have electric outlet. Maybe this lady will
Did everything
say.
you need to basically plug and play and go.
Okay, comes with
they're warm,
everything.
they're dry, they have heat and electricity, and the residents will be out of the elements and not out in the cold.
All right, she's selling me. What does this say? Los Gilicos Island. I don't even know what this is. Village. I didn't even know. There's things are popping up left and right. 60 heated 8x8 units. The unit I showed you over at Sam's Club is like 8x10. And keep in mind, that's like about $900. These are $5,000. But they got electricity, LED lights, solar device chargers, mattress, bedding, storage space, pet friendly, toilets and showers. That's extra. That's the whole village.
The day-to-day life at this facility is hopefully going to be one that is very organic and actually allows people a lot of freedom to kind of determine their days. We're going to have breakfast, lunch, and dinner here on site that will be provided by St. Vincent de Paul and our partners.
See, there you go. Now that's good. See, St. Vincent de Paul, come on now.
We'll have activity times that people will be able to have free time to meet with their care teams. That's going to be provided by the County of Sonoma, so that will be their access to supportive
Sonoma. Woo! Are those like beautiful grape yards, grape
services.
vineyards?
We'll be helping them through any recovery they may be going through.
I'm really excited about this temporary shelter coming online. It is critical
Sonoma.
to our system of care. It is really often the gateway and the entry point for individuals who.
And what's amazing is they just took an empty parking lot. That's all this is. There's endless empty parking lots, and they put 60 houses on it in like a
who are
week.
experiencing homelessness to get into the system, to get the resources and services and supports that they need in order to get onto housing in the continuum of housing. So permanent supportive housing or permanent affordable housing. And this.
Look, I don't care if as long as these people are allowed to stay in these tiny houses and you want to work till the cows get home to get them in a real house, by all means. I don't
This is
give
really
a
a
crap.
critical piece that's been missing from our system of care.
So I've been working
Yes.
this week on making 60 signs for the temporary housing here. I sat and came up with 160 different ideas and kind of pared that down to 60. There are going to be so many different individuals here, and there's so many different stories in all of these images. And I'm hoping that the
love
stories
those.
really bridge some of the gaps that we're feeling
Oh, she's gonna
and
put 'em on
this
the
really important
doors.
issue for our community.
We do not plan
Yeah.
to have people live in these pallet shelters indefinitely or
Whatever,
permanently.
lady.
The idea is
Just
this is
don't
really a
kick 'em
step in
out.
the right direction.
They all say that until they actually see how it actually works out. Nobody can live in Sonoma County. I can't afford to live in Sonoma County, lady.
And while we wait for other housing solutions to come online, we're giving people at least a sense of dignity and humanity.
Okay, they're waiting for other things to come online. That's fine. Look, if you want to put all these people in better houses if they want to leave, which they're not going to want to leave because they're going to have a beautiful community here, as long as you don't kick them out, I don't care what you do. Build them in the sky. Build like the greatest empire of the most beautiful apartment buildings you've ever seen. I don't care as long as you let people stay in these in the meantime.
That they can actually be someplace safe, someplace where they can leave
Yes.
their belongings, where they can actually go and do all of the paperwork that they need in order to
Yes.
become gainfully employed. And then
Oh my
ultimately we
God.
want to move them onto permanent, supportive, or affordable
Fine,
housing.
whatever.
If you look behind us,
they're not going to
flanked by
leave.
Hood
Some of them.
Mountain Regional Park, and we plan to do guided walks with people who live here up into that. I think when
that'll
you
be nice.
come from a background of trauma, that's an incredibly
Yes.
healing opportunity.
It's the essence of
Yes.
Sonoma County, and the generosity that we're seeing
Wow.
from the volunteers, from our
Generosity.
Oakmont Garden Club neighbors, from others. It's just
The
really
Garden Club
heartwarming,
neighbors.
and it really embodies what
See?
is wonderful about Sonoma County.
Yeah, and you know what? It's just going to make Sonoma County even cooler than it already is as Akron just lives more and more in its self-denying ghetto. Ah! Blah. Blah. Anyways. Isn't that lovely? Yeah, we need those there, James. Ooh, let me show you, though, the ones in Tiny House Village in Los Angeles. I want you to just see these. Look at these. Wait till you let me get you a picture. Let me show you. No. It's prettier. Look how pretty. I don't want to show you that. I just want to show you this picture. Look how nice they made it. So they took the same pallet things. This pallet company, good for that woman. She's making a killing. $5,000 each, which in California is just peanuts. But look how they did. They have a bunch of the white ones, but then they have blue ones, and they have yellow ones, and they have red ones, and then they painted their things. Oh, and I love this fence here. That it's a very tall fence, and it's like it's got that shielding. So these people have privacy, and then people don't have to like look and be like, oh my God, homeless people. Ah! Oh, and you see this triangle here? You know what that is? A dog run. A dog run. You can have your dog in there and run him. Yeah. Duh. I can't believe I have to fight so hard for duh. Am I going to die before I see a tiny house village in Akron, Ohio? I literally think it's possible. You say yes? Oh boy. My wife says yes. I'm going to die of a heart attack. I'm losing weight, honey. I can't I can't let them off the hook so easily with a heart attack from me. So here's the thing. Aaron says, you gave Akron homeless a sense of dignity, but the city didn't agree. Right, because they don't like homeless people. If they had asked the homeless people, they would have agreed. So here's the thing. When you throw people away and you steal all their belongings, like CSX did here in Akron this last week, threw all their belongings away and will see no legal repercussions for doing that. A person who had nearly nothing, all of their belongings, their tent, their clothes, their bedding, their food, their supplies, all thrown in a dumpster. The only thing that happens is you become less human. You are robbed of your humanity, of your integrity, of your dignity, and you know one thing: society hates your guts. Because nobody's standing up for you. And that's why I yell at I'm yelling at the organizations. What have I missed? Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. Let me show you, Jane. Oh, I want to show you. Look. Akron Beacon Journal. Hold on. Wait. Akron. Check it out. I did get a quote on that. Come on. It's down here somewhere. Dang it. All right, let me try a search. Search feature is not great on this paper. Not great. CSX. No, let's try it. Wow, I'd take it back. There. Look at that. There's a war against homeless people in Akron. Oh, wait, sorry, you didn't see that. There's a war against homeless people in Akron. I wonder who would say such a thing. Who would say such a crazy thing? I don't know. Okay, a pair of tents and a cardboard box filled with bloated frozen cans of food and a site littered with trash on city property. I wish they would stop saying it like that. Sat abandoned on the edge of Grace Park last week as nearby CSX railroad property. The remains of a 2-year-old homeless camp have been scooped into a dump truck. Homeless advocates say most of the dozen or so people who were living in the area simply moved to the nearby property, unwilling to accept housing and shelter. I hate when they say stuff like that. That is so biased. They're not unwilling. The options suck. Damn it. In another secluded part of town, 21-year-old Miranda Jones, who we helped, gave birth to twins. Is back in a tarp-covered shelter with her children's father, where they've been living since early last year. I don't foresee he and I ever being able to get custody of the kids. And she's right. Don't ever try to get your kids back from child services. If you're not the right kind of person, they'll never give you your kids back. I worked with a woman who did everything they asked, and they never gave her kids back. They don't have to. There's no laws against that either. They can steal your kids whenever they want. All they need is a suspicion. I'm telling you, I'm not hyping that. That's true. I live that. Okay, anyways. There's a war against homeless people, said this crazy maniac It's like this life or death hide and seek. He said, you're just constantly in hiding. You become a rat in their eyes that they're just trying to eradicate. It's probably the most inhumane thing I can imagine. There's Miranda. Living, may I say, she grew up in the foster system, has no, like, this is the happiest she's ever been. She's living in peace. She has terrible anxiety. She has found peace and tranquility in this space. Let her live in it. Who gives a crap? You're right, I gotta relax. Okay, just east of the Grace Park along the CSX transportation line, railroad police and contractors cleared a dozen or more homeless people from the property on February 17th. Advocates said contractors used a backhoe and a dump truck to clear the site without concern for personal belongings. The city said it did not take part in the removal, but wait till you hear this, stating it has refrained from dispersing homeless camps since COVID-19 in order to help prevent community spread of the virus in our homeless population and beyond. The railroad said the eviction is the culmination of an effort to clear the property of trespassers for both safety, because you know what they aren't? They're not people, they're trespassers. Both safety and public health reasons. This didn't happen overnight. We've been giving them warnings for 2 years. She said that people living on railroad property were notified they must leave and added, we provided notice to vacate with the city and the Akron Police Department on February 10th. You know who didn't know? The people they were eradicating. Bowman did not directly respond regarding the timing or matter of the removal. Cleaning was scheduled after conducting a series of outreach efforts and engaging community partners. They never talked to the homeless people. I know, because I know the people. We worked with stakeholders well in advance of scheduling the removal of trespassers. City lent the railroad, and here it is. The city lent the railroad some support for its actions, noting the camp was dangerously close to active train tracks. So they're bullshitting you up the fucking ass, okay? Because up above, they're like, well, we haven't been eradicating, but if you want to eradicate people, we'll definitely help you out. It's Hitler extermination, people. I'm not exaggerating. All right? They just threw all their shit in the trash. They threw it all in the trash, and nothing is going to happen. Nothing is going to happen. Yeah, Aaron's right. Child and Family Services, CVS will take your kids if they sneeze. Absolutely right. Absolutely right. Fourth Amendment. I know they're wrong. I know they're wrong, Brenda, but who can fight them? Look, I got one of the best law firms you can get for this kind of work. And they just like, so here's how it works in Summit County. I'm not lying. The judges, everybody is paid off in Summit County, okay, by the Summit County Dems. The Republicans don't run in Akron because they're given deals by the Summit County Dems. If you don't run against us meaningfully, we'll cut you in on some of the construction deals, okay? That's how that works. So we don't have any meaningful Republicans running in Akron, okay? And then the Summit County Dems control everything, and they run these PACs that funnel the money to the judges and to city council. So if you don't play ball with them, they will throw you out. So when the city doesn't want homeless people, all the Summit County judges will not ever side with you. We never got beyond the fact that that the paperwork was not sent the right way. Years. Our lawsuit never got beyond the paperwork wasn't sent to the right person at the right time. Never does a private individual have the right to shelter people on his own land. Never did we get to ask that question of a judge. Because you know why? The judges don't want to talk about it, and the city doesn't want to talk about it. So we got annihilated on bureaucracy. because they're all in it together. I'm not making this up. It's corrupt as hell in this city, people. Yeah, I mean, I don't know who to hire to sue. Yeah, I don't like our mayor either, Lisa Sign. He's a dick. I'm doing everything to eradicate our city of Mayor Horrigan. Evict Horrigan 2023 is my campaign. We need a tribe. Yes, we do. We need to come together. Aaron says, knew someone who lost her kids because CPS showed up 2 days before her SNAP card was due to be filled. Because she didn't have enough food in her house, the kids were removed. She even worked full-time and had a decent place to live. That was 4 years ago, and she still doesn't have her kids. I'm telling you, this is true. True, true, true. They steal poor people's kids. They don't steal rich people's kids. Doesn't matter how many drugs you do or how much beating you do on them. If you're rich, you don't have to worry about it. But if you're poor, you're losing your kids in Akron. I'm telling you, I'm not lying. Aaron's not lying. I drive by his house just to flip him off. That's good. We must come together, people. We have it in us. We don't need a bloody revolution. We don't. And I'm not going to run one. I want to run one. I'm not lying. I am violently angry at how we treat people in this country and have always treated people in this country. But I'm not running one. What we must do is we must unite and vote in a block and put candidates on the ballot. I think I'm seriously considering running for Ward 10. You must consider running for government. I will help you. And we must get a candidate on the ballot, a Democratic candidate on the ballot for mayor. Right now, my vote is Russ Neal, Tara Samples, or, who I'm really liking so far, Shamus Malik. I like him. We must. What about the rap lawyer? It's possible. Maybe I should see it. We must. African Americans alone could control this entire city. It's 30% of the population and nobody votes in Akron. If they would come out and vote, they could run all of Akron. All of it. But the Democrats suppress their vote. They don't want them to vote. They make it seem hopeless. They put people on the ballot that doesn't speak to African American needs. So they don't vote. We got to give them somebody to vote for. If we take the African Americans and the poor people, forget about it. Forget about it. We're going to stop focusing on roundabouts and we're going to focus on addiction and gun violence. Because we don't. We don't give a crap about that in Akron because it's killing the people they want killed. I'm not making it up. I got to go too. Maybe a rap lawyer. Let's see. Tia says, I'd like to see the churches stop talking about abortions and equality and put those efforts into, yeah. Look, I don't even want to talk about abortion. We don't need to talk about abortion. We need to talk about things we agree on. That there is tremendous poverty and suffering in America, and the churches must do something about that. Stop being so political. Start getting back to your roots where you used to follow a guy named Jesus. Do that. Actually help people. Stop riling people up about stupid political issues when you have real issues right now on your doorstep. Take people into your church. I gotta go, people. I love you. I love you. I love you. You guys have a great day. I'll see you later. Bye.